Hello everyone, I am Kuhu Chandna and welcome back to AI Meets Medicine. It's honestly a little surreal saying this, but we have reached the final episode of season 1. When I started this podcast, my goal wasn't just to talk about artificial intelligence. It was to understand how AI is slowly becoming a part of one of the most important fields in our lives, and that is medicine. Over the last 6 episodes, we have explored some fascinating questions. Each episode reminded us of one thing, that AI is no longer a futuristic idea. It's already becoming a part of modern healthcare. But today, we are not talking about what AI can do. We are talking about something far more important. What happens when AI gets it wrong? Because if your music app recommends the wrong song, it's annoying. If your shopping app recommends the wrong product, you simply scroll past it. But if an AI system makes the wrong medical prediction, the consequences could change someone's life. And that brings us to what I believe is one of the most important questions of this entire season. Even if AI can do something, should it? Because when technology begins influencing decisions about human lives, intelligence alone is no longer enough. It needs responsibility, it needs fairness, and above all, it needs ethics. So, today, let's talk about the side of artificial intelligence that doesn't always make the headlines, but quietly shapes the future of healthcare. So, before we dive into today's topic, let's connect the dots. In episode 1, we discovered that AI isn't here to replace the doctors, it performs best when it works alongside them. In episode 2, we explored how AI is helping radiologists detect diseases earlier and more accurately. Episode 3 asked a fascinating question: can a machine truly understand human emotions? Episode 4 showed us how AI is opening new possibilities in women's healthcare. Episode 5 introduced us to the idea that diseases could someday be detected simply through our breath. And in episode 6, we explored how AI is helping researchers better understand aging and longevity. Different breakthroughs, but one common question: can we trust AI when real human lives are involved? And that's exactly where today's conversation begins. When people hear the term AI bias, many imagine that the machine itself has somehow become unfair. But that's not actually what happens. AI doesn't have personal opinions, it doesn't have emotions, it doesn't wake up one morning and decide to favor one person over the other. It simply learns from the data that we give it. And that's exactly where the challenge begins. Imagine preparing for an important exam, but someone quietly removes half the chapters from the textbook. Would you still expect to score 100%? Probably not. AI isn't very different. If it's trained using incomplete, unbalanced, or non representative medical data, its predictions can also become incomplete. Not because it's trying to make mistakes, but because it was never shown the complete picture. Let's make this even more practical. Imagine an AI system trained using thousands of medical images, but most of those images come only from one group of patients. Now imagine another patient with the same disease, but from a completely different background. The AI may not recognize that condition with the same level of confidence or accuracy, not because the disease changed or the patient changed, but because the data changed. And that's one of the biggest challenges in medical AI today. The quality of an AI system will always depend on the quality and diversity of the data it learns from. And this isn't just a theoretical discussion. Researchers have found examples where certain AI systems perform differently across different patient populations because the training data wasn't equally representative. That doesn't mean AI is unreliable. It reminds us of something much more important. Good AI begins with good data. AI doesn't create knowledge, it learns from the knowledge we provide. If the data contains gaps, AI inherits those gaps. If the data reflects historical bias, AI can unintentionally inherit that too. That's why experts often say AI is only as fair as the data it learns from. And honestly, I think that's one of the most important lessons in artificial intelligence today. Here's something else that's worth thinking about. We spend a lot of time asking, can AI think like humans? But maybe we should ask, could AI repeat human mistakes? Because AI doesn't create history, it studies history. And history, as we know, hasn't always been perfectly fair. For many years, certain populations were underrepresented in medical research. But today, AI learns from decades of historical medical data. If that data isn't carefully reviewed and balanced, AI can unintentionally carry forward patterns that modern healthcare is actively trying to correct. So, building better AI isn't only a technical challenge, it's also a human responsibility. Creating smarter algorithms isn't enough. We also need better data, more inclusive data, more representative data. Because fairness isn't something AI discovers on its own. It's something we have to build into the system from the very beginning. And that naturally brings us to perhaps the most difficult question of today's episode. Imagine an AI system recommends the wrong treatment or misses an early diagnosis that could have saved someone's life. When that happens, who's responsible? The doctor? The hospital? The engineers who built the AI? Or the company that developed it? The one name missing from that list is AI itself, because AI cannot take the responsibility for its decisions. It cannot explain its reasoning the way a doctor can. It cannot apologize and it cannot be held morally accountable. That's why, at least today, AI is designed to support medical decisions and not replace the people who make them. It can analyze, recognize patterns, and it can predict. But the final responsibility must always remain with the trained healthcare professionals. Because every diagnosis is ultimately about a human life and not just medical data. Now let's look at another ethical challenge. Imagine there's only one ICU bed left, or only one donor organ available. Several patients needed. Could AI help decide who should receive it? Technically, yes, it can analyze thousands of medical records in seconds. It can compare survival rates, risk factors, medical history, treatment outcomes. But here's the real question. Should efficiency alone decide who gets a second chance at life? Medicine has always been a science, but it has never been only a science. It's also judgment, compassion, experience, and ethics. Data can guide a decision, but it cannot replace human values. That's why AI should remain a powerful assistant and not the final authority. Another important conversation is about privacy. Every AI system learns from data, and in healthcare, that data is deeply personal. Medical history, blood reports, scans, prescriptions, even genetic information. All of it helps AI become smarter. But it also raises an equally important question. Who owns this data? More importantly, who protects it? As AI becomes more powerful, protecting patient privacy becomes just as important as improving medical accuracy. Because without trust, even the smartest AI will struggle to become part of everyday healthcare. Innovation and privacy must move forward together and not compete with each other. So, does talking about ethics mean we should be afraid of AI? Absolutely not. In fact, asking difficult questions is exactly how better technology is built. Ethics doesn't slow innovation, it makes innovation better. It ensures that new technologies are fair, transparent, accountable, and accessible to everyone and not just a few. Because a medical breakthrough only becomes meaningful when people can trust it. And with that, we have reached the end of not just today's episode, but the end of an incredible first season of AI Meets Medicine. 7 episodes ago, we began with curiosity. Today, we end with responsibility. This journey wasn't just about discovering what AI is capable of. It was about understanding the responsibility that comes with every technological breakthrough. Artificial intelligence may transform healthcare. It may help doctors diagnose diseases earlier, help researchers discover new treatments, and perhaps even help us live healthier. But technology alone has never transformed medicine. People have doctors, researchers, engineers, patients, and every person who chooses to build technology responsibly. Because the future of medicine won't be defined by the smartest algorithm ever created. It will be defined by whether the technology is fair or not, whether it earns our trust, and whether it always remembers the person behind the patient record. As we close season 1, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Throughout history, every great medical breakthrough has changed how we treat diseases. Artificial intelligence is changing how we make decisions, and that's exactly why ethics matter more today than ever before. Because AI can process information, it can recognize patterns, predict outcomes, but it cannot understand what it means to care. That responsibility still belongs to us. Because AI can learn from data, but humanity must teach it wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this journey. If you enjoyed this season, let me know which episode was your favorite and what topics you would love to explore in season 2. Until then, keep asking questions and stay curious. And remember, the future of medicine isn't just about building smarter AI, it's about building AI that's worthy of our trust. I am Kuhu Chandana, and this has been AI Meets Medicine. I'll see you in season 2.